Hacker forced me to live as a girl to protect my secrets. I never imagined my life would spiral into this, trapped in a web of deception, forced to become someone I barely recognized in the mirror. It all started as a secret, one I kept tucked away in the darkest corners of my mind. But secrets have a way of unraveling, and mine fell into the wrong hands. My name is Alex Carter. By day, I'm a cybersecurity analyst, one of the best in my field. I spend my time buried in lines of code, breaking into systems to expose vulnerabilities before real hackers do. It's ironic, really. I built a career around protecting secrets, yet here I am, being blackmailed by a faceless hacker who somehow uncovered mine. The secret? I crossdress. It's not something I ever planned on confessing. I'm not even sure how I would explain it to myself, let alone anyone else. I never thought of it as more than a private indulgence, a fleeting escape from the rigid, structured world I live in. Late at night, when the world was quiet and Emma, my girlfriend, was asleep, I would retreat into my hidden world. Slipping into silk, painting my lips in soft pink hues, letting myself become someone else. But now, my hidden self isn't so hidden anymore. The hacker sent the first message 2 days ago. A simple email with no subject line. I know your secret. At first, I thought it was a mistake. Spam. A cruel joke. But then, attached was a single image. Me, standing in front of my bedroom mirror, dressed in a short black dress, my wig perfectly styled, my lips painted red. Panic gripped my chest like a vice. I had been careful. No social media posts. No digital trails. My phone locked away when I indulged. How? The next message came seconds later. Do exactly as I say, or Emma sees everything. My blood ran cold. Emma, my perfect, beautiful girlfriend. She was everything I could ever want, kind, intelligent, and completely out of my league. I spent years making sure she never had a reason to doubt me. She had no idea that, in the dead of night, I became someone entirely different. I had never meant to keep secrets from her, but I knew she wouldn't understand. Emma wasn't judgmental, but she was traditional. We had talked about the future, marriage, a house, kids. The kind of life where a husband didn't wear dresses behind closed doors. And now everything was at risk. I was sitting in my apartment when the hacker's next message arrived. Follow my instructions, and your secret stays safe. The walls of my safe little world were crumbling, and I had no choice but to obey. The setting around me was deceptively ordinary. My apartment, modern, clean, impersonal. A space Emma and I decorated together, filled with framed photos of vacations and lazy Sunday mornings. A place that felt like home, yet suddenly felt like a prison. Emma was at work, which gave me a few precious hours to figure out my next move. My hands trembled as I opened my laptop, staring at the hacker's last message. What did they want from me? Money. Access to my company's network. I hesitated before typing a reply. What do you want? The response was immediate. Simple. From now on, you live as the girl in the photo. In public. At home. Everywhere. My breath hitched. No. This couldn't be happening. My hands flew to the keyboard. You can't be serious. Another response. Don't test me. You have 1 hour to send proof. Dress up. Full makeup. The works. Send a photo. Or Emma finds out. My heart pounded against my ribs. Was this some kind of sick joke? Some stranger on the internet forcing me to do this? I looked at the time. 58 minutes left. I couldn't risk it. Dragging myself to the bedroom, I pulled open the hidden compartment in my closet, revealing the neatly folded clothes I thought no one would ever see. Dresses, skirts, lingerie, all carefully hidden from Emma's sight. I swallowed hard. This wasn't about desire anymore. This was survival. I reached for the black dress, the same one from the photo. The fabric felt cool against my skin as I slid it over my frame. My hands trembled as I applied foundation, my mind racing. If I didn't do this, Emma would know. If I did, I was playing right into the hacker's hands. Either way, I was trapped. With a deep breath, I stared at the girl in the mirror. She wasn't supposed to exist. But now, she was the only thing keeping my life from falling apart. I stared at my reflection, my breath coming in shallow gasps. The girl in the mirror wasn't me. Or at least, she wasn't supposed to be. The sleek black dress hugged my frame, the delicate spaghetti straps exposing my shoulders. The wig set neatly over my natural hair, cascading in soft brown waves past my collarbone. My makeup, though applied with shaking hands, was flawless, foundation smoothing my skin, eyeliner defining my eyes, lips painted a deep, sultry red. I should have felt disgusted, humiliated. Instead, an odd sense of familiarity wrapped around me, like slipping into a version of myself I'd always known but never acknowledged. Ding! The notification snapped me back to reality. My laptop screen glowed with a new message. Time's up. Let's see the proof. I clenched my fists. Whoever this was, they had me cornered. There was no choice. I lifted my phone, angled it toward the mirror, and snapped a photo. My fingers hovered over the send button, my entire body screaming in protest. But then another message. Don't make me ask twice. I sent the photo. Seconds passed, stretching unbearably long. Then, beautiful. You wear it well. But you're not done yet. My stomach twisted. What more do you want? I typed, my pulse hammering in my ears. Simple. Stay dressed. All day. I nearly dropped the phone. All day. Emma would be home in a few hours. If she saw me like this, you don't want her to see the photos, do you? I shut my eyes, inhaling sharply. I had no choice. The next few hours were a living nightmare. Every second in that dress, every step in the towering black heels, was a battle against the fear clawing at my throat. The hacker hadn't just forced me to dress up, they had stripped away my ability to be myself. Every minute, I was hyper-aware of the way the fabric clung to my body, the gentle weight of the wig on my head, the painted lips that no longer felt like my own. I walked differently, sat differently, even breathing felt different. But the worst part, it wasn't just fear I felt. There was something else, something deeper, more dangerous. A thrill. I moved cautiously through the apartment, every sound setting my nerves on edge. I avoided mirrors, but I could still feel her, this alternate version of me the hacker had dragged into the light. I had spent years pretending this wasn't a part of me, hiding it, locking it away. And yet, the moment I put on that dress, something inside me shifted. A knock at the door shattered my thoughts. I froze. No one was supposed to come over. My heart slammed against my ribs as I crept toward the door. Through the peephole, I saw our neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, an elderly woman from down the hall. Panic surged through me. If I answered, she would see me like this. But if I didn't, the knocking came again. I had to decide. I reached for the doorknob. Ding. Another message. Answer it. Don't break character. I sucked in a breath. They were watching me. Hands shaking, I turned the knob and cracked the door open just enough to see Mrs. Thompson's concerned face. Oh, I didn't realize Emma had company, she said, squinting slightly. I forced a smile. My voice trembled. As she's not here right now. Mrs. Thompson's eyes flickered over me, taking in the dress, the makeup, the nervous way I gripped the edge of the door. For a second, I thought she was about to ask something, but instead, she just nodded. Well, just let her know I dropped off some mail that ended up in my box. I exhaled slowly as she handed me the envelope. My hands, delicate with neatly manicured nails, looked completely unnatural to me as I took it from her. Of course, I murmured. I shut the door the second she turned away, my entire body trembling. Another message arrived. Well done. You're a natural. I slammed the laptop shut. Time ticked by painfully slow. Emma would be home soon. I kept pacing, my mind spinning. Maybe I could change back now. Maybe the hacker had enough. But before I could make a move, ding. I hesitated before opening the message. One more thing. Leave a surprise for Emma. Something pretty. My blood turned to ice. What do you mean? I typed back. Lipstick on the bathroom mirror. A pair of heels by the bed. Let's see how well you can sell the illusion. No. This was going too far. I started typing a refusal, but before I could hit send. Attachment. New image. My stomach lurched. I clicked the file, and my own face stared back at me, the same photo I had sent earlier, now edited. In the reflection of the mirror, Emma's name was scrawled in red lipstick. A chill shot down my spine. They weren't just watching. They were in control. I stood there, frozen in my own horror. And then I did what they asked. With shaking hands, I picked up my lipstick and pressed it against the bathroom mirror. Emma. The letters smeared slightly under the trembling pressure of my hand. By the time I stepped back, my heart was pounding so loudly I barely heard the front door unlock. She was home. The front door clicked open, and I stopped breathing. Emma's footsteps echoed through the apartment, slow and deliberate. I could hear the rustling of her coat as she shrugged it off, the metallic jingle of her keys as she set them down in the dish by the door. I was still standing in front of the bathroom mirror, my reflection taunting me. The word Emma stared back at me in smeared red lipstick. My lips matched the writing, painted with the same deep crimson. The black dress clung to my body, my high heels planted firmly against the cool tile floor. I had to move. I had to change. But I was frozen. Alex! Emma's voice drifted down the hallway. Babe, you home? My pulse slammed against my ribs. I reached for the makeup wipes on the counter, frantically scrubbing at my face. The foundation smeared, smudging my jawline. The lipstick, stubborn and bold, refused to come off completely. My fingers trembled as I pulled at the zipper of my dress, but the damn thing wouldn't budge. Footsteps. Getting closer. Alex! Think. The closet. I could grab a hoodie, cover myself. Too late. Emma appeared in the doorway. And then silence. A silence so heavy, so suffocating, I thought it would crush me. She didn't speak. Didn't move. Her eyes swept over me, wide with disbelief. They took in everything. The dress, the smeared makeup, the lipstick-scrawled mirror. I opened my mouth, but no words came out. Emma's face twisted with something unreadable. Her hands clenched into fists at her sides. And then she saw the name on the mirror. Her breath hitched. What the? My stomach dropped. She thought. No. She thought someone else had been here. Another woman. No. It's not. My phone buzzed. A new message from the hacker. Explain it to her. Lie, and she finds out everything. I swallowed hard. Emma, She stepped back, her expression hardening. How long? I blinked. What? How long have you been sneaking around behind my back? Her voice shook. No, it's not. Emma let out a bitter laugh, motioning toward me. Are you seriously going to stand there, dressed like this, and tell me you weren't expecting someone? My chest tightened. She thought I was cheating. She turned on her heel. I can't believe this. No. I lunged forward, catching her wrist. It's not what you think. She jerked away. Then tell me what it is. I hesitated. The hacker was watching. If I lied, if I told Emma some half-truth, would they expose me? Was it worth the risk? But telling the truth, she'd never look at me the same way again. Ding. Another message. Tick-tock. I clenched my jaw, feeling the walls closing in. My throat was dry. I did this. For me. Emma's brow furrowed. What? My heart pounded, so loudly I could barely hear my own voice. There's no other woman. No affair. Just me. I gestured weakly at myself. Like this. Her face shifted, anger giving way to confusion. You're saying you do this? She looked me up and down. You wear makeup? Dresses? Shame burned through me, but I forced myself to nod. She shook her head. I don't understand. Why would you? The answer lodged in my throat. I wanted to tell her everything. How I had been doing this in secret for years. How I didn't even fully understand it myself. How, for the first time in my life, I had been forced to face a version of myself I had always been too afraid to acknowledge. But before I could speak, Emma's phone buzzed. She glanced at it, and then her face turned white. I knew before she even showed me. A message. From an unknown number. A photo of me, standing in front of the mirror, fully made up, the dress hugging my frame. The hacker had sent it to her. Emma's hands trembled. Who the hell sent this? My blood turned to ice. Ding. A message appeared on my phone. Time for the grand finale. My stomach twisted. What did they mean? Then the lights flickered. A second later, my laptop screen flashed to life from across the room. The hacker was making their move. Emma and I turned toward the glow of the screen, and then a video started playing. It was me, dressed up, moving through the apartment. Footage of me applying lipstick, slipping into the dress, answering the door for Mrs. Thompson. I felt Emma's breath hitch beside me. You were being watched. Her voice was barely a whisper. I couldn't speak. And then, a final message appeared on the screen. Now she knows. What happens next is up to you. Silence stretched between us. Emma exhaled sharply, rubbing her temples. She still wouldn't look at me. I felt exposed. Violated. My entire body trembled, my hands gripping the fabric of the dress as if holding on to it would keep me from falling apart completely. Emma finally turned toward me, her expression unreadable. Who is doing this to you? I swallowed hard. I don't know. Another silence. Then, slowly, Emma reached forward. For a second, I thought she was going to touch me. But instead, she grabbed the laptop, spun it toward herself, and started typing. What are you doing? I asked. She didn't answer. Her fingers flew over the keyboard, her brows furrowed in concentration. And then, a smirk tugged at her lips. Got you. I blinked. What? She turned the screen toward me. Lines of code filled the display. And at the bottom, an IP address. Emma looked up at me, eyes burning with determination. Let's find out who's been messing with you. The glow of the laptop screen flickered against Emma's face, casting sharp shadows across her features. She sat motionless, staring at the string of numbers, the IP address she had just uncovered. I could hear my own breathing, shallow and uneven. My pulse pounded in my ears. Emma, I whispered. What did you just do? Her eyes snapped to mine, filled with something I couldn't quite decipher. Excitement, determination, fear. She exhaled slowly, then looked back at the screen. I traced it. Whoever's been messing with you, they're not as untouchable as they think. I swallowed hard. And where does it lead? Emma hesitated. Then she turned the laptop toward me. My stomach dropped. The address, it was local. Not just local. The hacker was in our city. A cold shiver crawled down my spine. This has to be a mistake, I muttered, my voice barely above a whisper. They could be using a VPN, right? They wouldn't be stupid enough to... Ding. A new message. My heart stopped. Emma's phone lit up, too. The same text. Sent to both of us. You shouldn't have done that. A chill ran through me. Emma's jaw tightened. They're watching us right now. The realization hit like a punch to the gut. The camera. The laptop. The entire apartment. We weren't alone. I bolted up from my chair, suddenly hyper-aware of everything. The tiny red light on the webcam, the open blinds facing the street. Every shadow in the room felt like it was hiding someone. Emma stood, too, her breath quickening. Okay, this just got serious. She reached for her phone. I'm calling the police. Ding. Another message. I couldn't stop my hands from shaking as I read it. Call them, and I release everything. I felt like I was going to be sick. Emma stared at me. What do they mean? Release everything. I couldn't answer. But I knew. The pictures. The footage. Every secret they had on me. If the police got involved, my life would be over. Emma's fingers hovered over the call button. She looked at me, waiting for my approval. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. I looked at her, then at the screen, then back at my trembling hands. What was I supposed to do? Another message. The choice is yours, Alex. Do you really trust her? Emma's brow furrowed. What do they mean by that? My head spun. My chest tightened. Then, the apartment lights went out. Pitch black. Emma gasped. What the hell? A rush of cold air swept through the room. Somewhere in the darkness, a door creaked open. And then, footsteps. Coming inside.